Yo, 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 welcome to Outta Pocket with RG3, hosted by your boy and the 49,000 time All-American, Grete Griffin.
Amazing, baby.
Thank you. Oh, man. Just make sure you guys like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've had extreme growth because of you guys, over 100,000 subscribers in the last 30 days. Really proud of that, but we would not be able to do it if it wasn't for you. So don't only you like and subscribe, make sure you tell your friends and your friends' friends and your friends' friends' friends to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because with you, anything is possible. So today we have a very interesting conversation. I would like to say it's a foreign conversation. So because of that, we're gonna allow the foreign host to do the introduction. Baby.
Thanks.
I like it.
We have a Ukrainian superstar couple from Dancing with the Stars, and to make history, we have our very first female guest for you guys today. We have Maks and Peta.
I'll ask the first question. Who's the worst partner you ever had? Worst celebrity partner you ever had? Let's dive into it.
Dancing wise, or
No, I'm asking him. Let him answer how he said. I can ask him anything.
I'm gonna
Just
tell
be
it.
very careful. Max, Jesus Christ.
He's an amazing man.
I've become a much better person with Peter. But look, you know, the idea of participation on Dancing with the Stars, when I was told, you know, what my job is, I was told your job is to give this person the best chance of winning.
Right.
This is not my job. The job is to give this person the time of participation. Be the partner. You know what I'm saying? Be their, you know, their, I don't know, their
safe space.
The safe space, exactly, because they're the ones dealing with this drama. I wasn't taking it that way. I was taking it, what's your name? Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're going to win. Why? Because I'm going to tell you exactly what to do, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. There was a moment when I would start my rehearsals. This probably is not on camera, but I would look at my partner, and she could be, you know, Kirstie Alley, decades older than me, or somebody my age. I would look at her and be like, excuse me, do me a favor. I don't know you. You don't know me. I'm a very nice guy. But for now, please don't speak for a couple hours. And they'd be looking at me like, what? First of all, the production would be like, wait, hold on a second. We're here with cameras and we need them to speak. You guys are mic'd up. I'm like, no. I'm here to work. I'm here to make sure she does the cha-cha. You know, and
cha-cha.
And so there was all these misconceptions, misunderstandings, and I was not the best of partners for some of those people.
Right.
Some people need a little milk with their tea, you know what I mean?
So if you're gonna ask
and other
me,
people are like, let's go.
yeah.
it's
So you know, I
different.
worked extremely well with some personalities and some people because they loved that stuff, and I would clash with others. My public clashes were with people like Hope Solo. You know, we just did not get along. There was few others that I wouldn't get along with a little more privately, but you know, it's not to call out people. It's not to say anything, because I probably was not at my best at that time anyway for what that person needed. A lot of times I wouldn't blame the casting, but I would say maybe this was not the right type of partnership.
Like they know who you are. They know what you want to do. They probably shouldn't have put you with the person who's got two left feet, you know?
No, well, yeah, you know, a lot of, there were a few seasons when I was like, why would you take this overly trained professional and give him that?
Jesus Christ.
I just couldn't understand why that was the way you wanted to go. Like you taking this,
You get what you're given.
you're
It's not like
taking
you
this-
get a sheet and get to choose who you freaking want to dance with.
I was just
you
not
know?
the guy.
It was,
Okay.
What about you, Peta?
She's a sweetheart.
Who has been your worst partner?
I don't know if I can say the name, but
Were they bad because of their personality or because of their dancing
personality.
skills? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, personality, because they would be constantly just trying to leave the rehearsal room. He would give me like sometimes an hour and a half a day. And when you have an hour and a half a day, it's basically nothing. You get zero done.
Wow.
And his partner at the time would be like knocking at the door and like, hey, when you coming out, you know? And I would have to just be like, okay, I mean, that's all I got for you today. If you gotta go, you gotta go. And there's like, there's a certain level of like real disrespect when that happens, when I'm putting everything that I got into training you. And I'm doing my very best to try to get you there for Monday night, and you give me fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I can't do my job.
Right.
So just respect is good.
That's a good question. Great question, by the way. Great question. So the point you're making is one that concerned me
Right.
about
You
going
should
on
definitely do the show.
because when I watch the dances, right, to me, dancing is a very connective, intimate thing.
Yeah.
That like if I'm gonna go dance with my partner, I take everything super seriously when it comes to like how you present yourself. Like if I'm gonna go play celebrity flag football, you better be ready to play.
Right.
Because I'm coming to win the game.
Right.
And I don't care if I gotta go catch passes,
That's why
play
you should do the
defense,
show.
like that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna go do.
But that,
right?
that's-
So
That's why you
So-
should
so
do the
that's how I
show,
approach it, but
number
when-
6. I'm just going to count how many times I'm going to say it today.
but when I look at the show, I'm like, well, if I go dance, I'm gonna go dance.
Yeah.
Like I looked at football the same way as far as playing quarterback is like dancing. It's rhythm, it's timing. You're making love to the football, essentially. Right? So when you go to Dancing with the Stars and I see some of these celebrities that are really, really good, I'm like, okay, I can tell they're putting in the time.
Yeah.
But inherently the dances become sensual.
Right.
yeah.
And you hear about
And then 2 months later, they get a divorce.
yeah, you hear about the relationships or whatever else that might happen.
Nothing.
Has there ever been
None of that happens.
part?
Wait, let him
We
finish.
have
Jesus.
the same show in Estonia, and the couple that won is now in a relationship and has a kid.
Yes. So
Look.
for you, you mentioned that their partner was constantly at the door. Do you think that was the concern, that they're like, oh, you're dancing with this woman?
I've
And-
had multiple situations, yes, where it has made my job very, very difficult. I pride myself on the fact that like I'm a one-man gal type of thing, you know, like I'm married, I've got kids. Like there is zero that has ever happened with me with any partner. And I'm very proud of that actually, because, you know, back in the day, there was a lot of stuff going on with people, you know.
Not with me.
And-
Not with me. She doesn't mean me. But there was some
Just to
people.
throw it out there, it's not me.
And yeah, it does. And I, you know, as a professional dancer, my job, you know, in the rumba, in the tango, you have to convey in that 1 minute and a half, like you're really into that person.
Yes.
And we practice it, and it's acting. But we have to practice, you know, throughout the week, we have to practice staring at each other. You know, we have to practice like getting in each other's space. But then it's like when you move away, you move away. I mean, it's like, there's nothing there. It's all acting. And that is part of the job. And you have to put on a show on Monday night. And it's 1 minute that you gotta like get everybody on your side to think that rumba was so special. You're so in love, you know. And it's hard for the wives.
You can watch it back. Look, she won with one of her
Donald
wins
Driver.
was with Donald
Donald
Driver.
Driver,
Yeah.
yeah. He was
You know,
incredible.
Incredible, married, kids, faith, all of the above. But damn, he put it out. And
Yeah, he did.
He did a great job.
He was insane.
Were
with
you
his-
guys together at that time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Well,
Talk to us about Donald Driver. I want to hear that because you know, legendary receiver. Would love to hear that.
He's the best. We talk all the time. He was my second partner. So my first partner, I had Meta World Peace from the Lakers. And we got out first, let me just say. Love him, but it just wasn't right.
First of all, I can't even say that Meta World P. I'm like, Ron.
Ron
Come
Artest.
on, Ron. Come on, Ron. Mr.
God love
Artest.
him. Anyway, so then the second season I got given Donald Driver. And for me, that was like, they were giving me a present. They were like, here, so sorry about the first season type of thing. Like, here's Donald Driver. And I was like, this guy gave me everything. He stayed behind, did extra hours. there was not one thing that I think he said no to. And there's many things that guys will say, I'm not doing that. Nah, take that out.
Wow.
Nah, I'm not doing it. Take it out. It's too hard.
And he
nah,
kept his
not
integrity. He did
He
not.
did.
Yeah, he was the family man through and through.
Yeah,
So
kids.
like, yeah.
Bettina, his wife, was just an insanely amazing person. She was there every single week on the sidelines cheering him on. That's what we wanted. We want the whole family to be involved. We ultimately ended up winning because our partnership was so strong. We had a great foundation, a friendship that, you know, we would talk about, you know, him and me getting together, you know, like at this stage, this was a very new, like we were just, you know, sleeping together. But it was like starting, it was happening, and then he was like, "So what's going on?" And we would have the chats and stuff, and he was a great friend throughout the whole thing. Yeah. He's amazing.
Look, for years, first of all, it's number one for Dancing with the Stars. Like success has always been a football player.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, Emmett Smith started that. I mean, Jerry Rice was a great figure for that season 1, but he wasn't that type of dancer.
Right.
Jerry then became the dance center as he was doing this little, you know, skits
what
like
about
a sports
the one
center.
that Hines Ward?
Hines Ward.
He was
I don't want to
great.
talk about because he took a win from me. So we don't like
Who
Hines.
was that season with you?
I was second with Kirsty.
Oh, okay.
But no, Hines did a great job. But Emmett set the standard. You know, he was the guy who came in, light on his feet. Everybody understood, you know, the height works, the presence work. It was hard to find basketball players like Iman, super tall, but also, you know, all about that.
Because the show is not just about being a great dancer. I'm sure you can see that. It is about your personality, how your interviews look, how well you get on with your partner.
Yep.
Now it's all about social media and what you can put out like during the rehearsal period.
Yep.
Well, yes, or in addition to, it becomes a huge point. But why you guys work is because the work ethic. You know, it's exactly what you said. You didn't make your case worse. You make your case because somebody's gonna call you.
Someone's gonna call
right
tonight.
after this. Her name is Dina, and I'm gonna make sure she does. But you know, it's that type of project now. This is not season 10 or 5. This is season 34.
Ooh.
You know, by now
Is it 34
everybody
or 35?
it's coming up on 34. It's this. Everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows what it's not. And that's why the show works today is because it's not serious. It's not, you know, life. It's what you make of it. It's what you want to put into it. And the reason why the intimacy is going to work is because of the way you are together. You know, it's going to be about the strength of this couple, right? And the fact that there's no cracks in this relationship. If you have cracks in the relationship, don't do it. Because you're going to get somebody like her who is just an incredible person to spend time with. And so if you have shitty time at home, you're going to be running to this rehearsal. She's going to know. She's going to know you're coming back.
He's
and
just giving you like the worst case scenario when they actually like can't wait to get in the door to see you.
Well,
you know,
also giving
like
them
they're like, oh my God, what are we
yeah.
doing today? Tell me what we're doing.
Yeah,
You know?
and I'm also giving a scenario of where we are now, we, the pros, know how to cater to you the right way.
Right.
And so we know how to take care of you. We know how to make sure that you're healthy, that you're not going to be sore or too sore. You're going to come with some problems 20 years in. We know how to be a shoulder to cry on. I'm not. That's why I'm not on it. But there are people that are, you know, way better at this. And so, you know, we now know how to cater to all of these aspects. So yeah, no, you have to have a strong relationship, and then it will work even better.
What do you think? Do you think you would like him to do it?
No. Okay. Do you not know Eastern European women? I will murder him.
If there's a,
Not because our relationship isn't strong, but I view dancing the same way, and I feel like if I told him I wanted to do it, he would tell me the same thing. Hell
Yeah.
no. You know
Gotcha.
what I mean? For him to have to watch me with another man holding up behind his neck and, you know, his leg between my legs, I just don't know how I'm gonna go home after that and be like, "Oh, hey, baby,
Hey,
wanna
look.
have sex?"
Hold on. No, look, I'm gonna say that there's possibility of a different effect. the effect here is that he's coming home and she's like, come home now.
Because-
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like that,
being
that
away,
also
being,
can lead
being
to
away
that.
from someone can make them grow fonder.
Absolutely.
But also, I feel the same way about acting. I don't understand how people can be
Yeah.
married or in a relationship with actors and actresses because you're watching that and you're like,
But you gotta
I
experience.
think
it
that's
one
next
time.
level too.
Ooh.
That's like seeing like him in a sex scene or a makeout scene.
She was in the movie. They had a makeout scene.
oh,
This gentleman is a gentleman through and through. I know him, Robert.
Older gentleman.
Older gentleman. We've spoken, we hung out, and all this. They had a makeout scene. My guy,
When
she
was
didn't
this?
know. I
Okay,
drove up and I was in the back of the
2017.
parking lot. I was in the back of the parking lot, damn near with binoculars. I was like this, crouching tiger, tiger hidden Max in between the cars. And then I saw her kiss him, and I was like, and then I made sure she saw me
seeing
walk
her.
away. I was like,
I didn't
and
even
then
know
she
he was
turns around.
freaking there.
He didn't know. She's like, oh my God, he's there. And then I left. I was such a. I was like, I'm a European female right now. Like, I will slash somebody tires. I'm about to go kill somebody. Like, it was so hard for me to deal with.
And it was the most
It was the most
innocent, platonic,
yeah.
little, quick, little. You
Well, I
know,
mean, listen,
Right.
you guys
I
sold it. It wasn't really platonic, but whatever. There was something, and I was like, this is when I knew that this is going to be a problem, and it's a problem for me to watch.
Yeah.
If
tough.
if
Yeah,
the
it's
roles
tough.
were reversed, I'd be like, baby, this is just job.
Yeah.
But I can see the perspective. I can see how it looks. I
Yeah.
didn't like it.
It's tough, and that when I saw that, like, and maybe we're seeing it differently. And like you said, maybe there are cracks somewhere, and obviously they had some cracks because they're not together. But when you talk about Peter, when you talk about dancing, and you have to sell that to the audience,
Yeah.
now in today's world with social media being so prominent, you can see everyone's opinion. You mentioned earlier talking about the Stouffer's lasagna, and
Yeah.
you took it down because they were talking about your son,
Big mistake.
right? But
He's not gonna let
if
that
you
go.
had posted, well, you wouldn't have had a chance to post it because if there was no social media, but if say it was on a commercial
Yeah.
on national TV, and there is no Twitter, there is no X, there's no Facebook or whatever, you're not going to see those opinions, so it doesn't impact you in such a big way. They might be making and having those conversations on their own in their own private house, but now because of social media, the pressures of going on Dancing with the Stars,
Okay.
and now I'm staring into that other woman's eyes, and
Yeah.
they're like, holy shiznit, this guy is selling it.
Yeah.
That
And
chemistry
and
between
now
them.
it takes off, and she's got to see every single day for the next 6 weeks or however long the show is airing, however
Yeah.
long I get on the show, and it's just us constantly. And now, if you thought we were good in week 1, wait till you see us in week 5. Like, the chemistry is just only going to grow, and I think that's why it's so difficult. When I see actors, and they're all called actors now, but when I see actors on screen playing husband wife, kissing in those scenes, having those intimate scenes,
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
and then they get married, and you're like, yeah, it's really hard to fake that.
Yeah, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they had he wanted kids, she didn't. She still doesn't. So clearly there was like a miss.
Actually,
And I mean, he fell in love with Angelina Jolie. Who wouldn't?
But she's a big fan. So yeah, I mean,
You like Angelina Jolie?
I do. I
Yeah,
do.
and
and then the chemistry and then chemical
doesn't?
reaction,
Exactly.
and
Who
everything
doesn't?
else.
Exactly. We all like Angela Jolie.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, look, I think
It's a
acting is out of this conversation because
you think it's different than
because
you think
it's
it's
different.
than
You,
dancing.
no, you sacrifice your life for the skill of an incredible actor. As a matter of fact, in just going through acting school and on my own, and she did it separately on her own, like the experience that I had was like, damn, like I need a different life for this. If I am to take this serious, there is no Peter and 3 kids. There is just a focused, environment in which I can be molded into anything.
Exactly.
Dance is not that.
Yeah.
Certainly
I feel-
not on Dancing with Stars season 34.
I
She-
think it's just because it's
He's
so.
still trying to convince me.
It's so like. It's so if for us as the dancer, we're so far removed from thinking, oh, he's staring at me too long.
Right.
Oh,
right,
I'm
right.
not even thinking about that. I'm thinking about where your foot placement is. If you got pigeon toes, like let's straighten your feet out. Like
But that's because you are such a professional and you love your man. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't do anything to sacrifice that or to do anything.
no.
Not everybody's like you.
And also, but the respect that I would have for you going into this, knowing like all the wives, all the fiancés, all the girlfriends that I have dealt with, like I understand how hard it would be to watch.
But the professionalism, if I may, is not only in the steps. The professionalism, and again, it depends on who you get as a pro, which by the way, when the Dina calls, there's going to be a specific 3 conversations. But the professionalism here is also in how you present this. You know,
I'm with
you
I'm not going to be going around holding his hand on the press line. Like I'm not going to be.
not even that.
You
We're
know,
talking
like-
about dance. Let's say it is the pinnacle. It's the rumba, right? And it has to be sensual, and it has to present itself that way, right? The professionalism is in putting the choreography that highlights the rumba in him and the rumba in the couple, but does not do that. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, if you're a normal person, go sit in rehearsal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you see the sweat and you
Come
see
on
the
in.
work
There's
ethic.
nothing
And you're
sexy
going to
about it.
understand that there's no difference.
There really
nothing
isn't. Like we
sexy
put
about,
on the
like-
show on Monday,
Yeah.
and we practice a little bit, but there's nothing sexy about
and
an
I get it. You
8-hour
guys have a
rehearsal.
completely different perspective on it because you're actually the ones doing it.
And I
you know what I mean?
And I believe what you said about you're more focused on like where's the foot, where's this, where that. Whereas you have undoubtedly had partners, and you as well, that come in and they're like, "Oh my God, you're beautiful. Oh my gosh, the way that they moved." And I think if we're being real, part of it is also if I'm a man, which I am, by the way,
Thank God.
and my wife or fiance or girlfriend is now dancing with you, and you can do things that I can't.
Right.
I do think that there's a certain level of insecurity that people have about that because
Yeah.
you know
I have an answer to that.
I'm a big strong guy. Like I can pick my wife up, but
Right.
if you have this classical training of being a dancer and you can do that, I'm going to be in the room. Like, how do I do that?
And
Right.
and we do
Maybe
that.
my wife really likes
And
that
we
now.
do
You know what I'm
that.
saying? Like-
we bring the
yeah.
spouses in, and they can have involvement.
We
in
break
whatever.
that wall so you don't feel that. Listen, you know, I yeah, but then you know, in this particular case, like how do I throw the ball? How do I do this thing that you do? You know,
It's just not as sexy.
It's to who? To who?
Like, like you see in the movies or just in real life, if you're trying to like mac on a female,
Listen,
right? Trying to riz her, you're going to teach her how to swing a golf ball, right? Because or
Well,
hit,
yeah,
or how to
from
hit a
behind.
baseball because you can hold it from behind. But when I'm like
From
teaching you to throw a football, it's not like I'm like grabbing you from behind and be like, now you're gonna separate both arms and make the throw. Like it's not as sexy as the cha cha, the rumba.
Yeah, but
know what I mean?
it's about professionalism. You can be a dickhead and come up from behind and be like, "This is how you swing your hips." Yeah, but you're being a professional dick. You're not being a professional dance teacher, an educator. You don't.
Oh, we've had some beauties. I've had some. One guy, again, not naming names,
Correct. We
stood
understand.
behind me, and he kind of wasn't all there mentally. Put his hands on my hips, and I was like, "Okay, so now you're gonna go from here. We're gonna go up the body, and bam." And he's like, "Oh, so this is kind of like us fucking from behind, right?" And I turned around and I was like, no, it's not actually. So let's get back into it. I'll like keep my, perky personality, and I'll just be like,
Because
I did
she's
not
a
hear that.
pro. Because she's a pro.
I
because
will-
I
I will
wouldn't have that
ignore it.
reaction. I
Why
would.
did you punch that guy in the face?
No. There's
Listen.
there's no need.
oh, there's been more than that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's been instances where it's because when you come into the show, the guys, they don't realize, and sometimes some of them can't separate what's happening in the studio and what's real life.
Wow.
So
and
they're
that
like,
exposes everyone. The show
And that- yeah.
ultimately exposes people's personalities. It exposes you. So the only reason why I'm saying you must do the shows because I get to know you and who you guys are.
Right.
If you were different, this wouldn't be a conversation. I wouldn't say that to you.
Right.
Because if you have those skeletons, they're gonna come out.
Yeah.
This show is not about dance. The show is about skeletons in your closet and how that progresses through the show and what the audience get to see and pick on and what they get to hold on to. You know, ultimately it's about you. There were women that would join Dancing with the Stars, and to your point, she'd walk in, see this tall, dark, weird sounding, handsome, and you know, again, I'm gonna name names. Kirsty, rest in peace. She was like, "You're so flirty." I'm like, "What?" Kirstie Alley. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Well, look at where your hand is." I'm like, "Where's my hand?" She's like, "It's almost on my butt." I'm like, "Woman, your center of gravity, given your hips, is in such place where I might be actually needing both hands to move you around.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to help you."
We love Kirsty, by the way.
You know, I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to flirt with you. Also, I'm sweating. I smell myself. There's nothing sexy about this process. I'm trying to teach you the cha-cha. It's Saturday and you don't know half of it. Like, I'm stressed. Like, what flirting are we talking about? So
listen, they can't differentiate sometimes.
it's ultimate
And
summer
people have
summer camp
fallen
for
in love.
adults.
It's crazy.
No, I definitely
Fallen
believe
in
that,
love.
and I want to just make it clear because this is the most out of pocket conversation I think we've ever had on the show. But I'm all for it because it's funny you say that and what you're talking about. Because for me, the fear isn't there's no cracks. There's no cracks with us, and I will not fall in love because I am in love with this woman.
Right.
The fear for me, and it's a legit fear, is how it impacts her.
Right.
That's the
that's
fear
so
for me
legit.
because I know I won't.
100%.
And I'll be able to say, "Hey, baby, I was literally just dancing, and you know and I'm cool with that." But how's it gonna impact my partner having to see it, like it impacted you with the kiss, and then the reaction to it?
Right.
You know, let alone you know, being a interracial couple. Say I get partnered with a black woman. Oh my gosh, the black community will have a field day with that. Because now if I go on this show and I'm with a black woman who's my dance partner, and we're killing it, the first comment they're going to say is, "See, that's why he should be with a black woman."
Yeah, but the only black woman on the show is married to another interracial in another interracial couple, so it's not
So
like
she's
it's
not
gonna
gonna
be.
like
You know what I'm saying? Like
You are-
and they're fully in love, and it's you're saved there.
But
So-
you get what I'm saying. It's not even like the reality is that she is married and happy.
Right.
The reality is you're married and happy.
Yeah.
You're married and happy. That didn't stop those teammates
No.
of yours
There's
from falling in
always,
love.
ever since day one, so example, Donald Driver, our first dance that we came out with, the cha-cha, we blew it out of the park.
Yeah, he killed it.
Killed it. It was amazing. For some reason, he picked me up at the end of it
I
and
remember.
gave me a big bear hug. And because he's so much taller than me, he picked me up so high, my legs were dangling. I wrapped them around him.
Yes.
For like 3 seconds, I got so much shit from, other women. Like, how dare you wrap your legs around a married man?
I remember.
And I'm like,
well, the fact that 90% of the
I felt
body is
terrible.
touching is irrelevant, but the
My
legs,
tits
now
were in his
that's
face,
a
but
big
that don't
deal.
matter.
It was the wrap of the legs.
but he was so excited that we did it. We nailed it. And it was like a great moment for us.
remember.
And then, of course, it wasn't everything because not everybody was saying that, but it was just a moment where I had to step back and go, yeah, okay, I get it. That might have looked a little weird. I didn't mean it in any way, shape, or form. He just picked me up so high. So there's things that I think I've learned along the way as being a professional dancer too, and just keeping things in mind.
I just hate that.
Again, press line. We do a massive press line after each Monday night. We do all the outlets. It takes an hour. And it's fun because you get to chat about what happened. They ask you all the questions and it goes on every news channel. I feel like back in the day, we were cozier with the partners. Like they've always got their arms around us, because we're a partnership. You
Yep.
have to sell the partnership to win the show, and now I'm definitely more careful with, not being too snuggly with the person after the show.
Yeah.
Because after the show, you go back to, it's reality. It's life.
I tell you,
real life.
everybody's a pro.
But-
Everybody's a pro. It's
Yeah.
again 34 times in. Everybody knows exactly what the job is, what it's not,
Right.
how to do it better. This is never gonna add to it. It's just gonna backfire.
Right.
There's never a couple that did well on the show and in life where someone walked in relationship, broke up, became a relationship on the show. They're not together anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to name names, but the point is,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. This is like, again, it's a summer camp for adults. Yes, have fun, but remember this
really
is going to
is.
come to an end. Summertime comes to an end, and then next season you realize that, wait, where was I? What was this? So I think today everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, and the last thing I've got on that is, to your point, it's summer camp, but you know how many times a kid goes away to summer camp and they have a crush on the guy that they might have talked to 3 times, and they're always going to have that experience
Right.
with you to be like, yes, this was my partner on Dancing with the Stars. I did more dances with this person than I've ever done with my partner, and that to me is something that impacts the partner in such a way that it's almost like, as a man, you know this, you don't ever want your wife to have experienced something with someone else that she has not experienced with you. And that is a
Interesting.
real
That's
relation. It's a
interesting.
real relationship challenge. And I'm not saying everybody's that way. I just know, like for me, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
when I get up in the morning, my number one goal is to find a way to get her to fall in love with me.
Well, I
Right.
mean, that's
So-
why
That's
that's
so
so
beautiful.
So
beautiful.
if I haven't done something for her, or if I've done something for someone else that I haven't done for her, I make sure I get that done. And we've been together 9 years now, so I've made sure I knocked all of them out the park. But I feel like that is something relationally that they tussle with.
Right.
So like, we're fans of the show. We've watched the show, and I'm just watching. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like
Was
that
there-
would be really tough.
Was there a dance that you remember where you were like, ooh, are they or aren't they? Or like where you were like, well, that was too steamy? Or
Oh, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. It was the Donald Driver dance, but it was
Pick her.
it wasn't. I didn't feel like it was too steamy. I just felt like, okay,
which one? Do you
the
remember?
cha-cha.
Do you know
Week
who?
one
Do you know
cha-cha.
who
The
I
week
can?
one cha-cha, because it was so good. Like I watched Donald Driver, I'm like, damn, look, he's been dancing for 20 years. Like he was incredible.
Yeah.
But I also know that part of the reason he was so good is because you were so good,
Right.
right? You guys are the trained dancers. Like you said, your job is to make them. Well, you thought your job was to win, but in order to win, they have to be good.
Right.
You have to showcase their strengths.
Yes.
So in that one, I was like, wow, that was absolutely an incredible dance. I can only imagine how his wife feels right now. Right? And that could be right, wrong, or indifferent. It wasn't the wrapping of the legs for me. That wasn't a thing. It was just the dance. I'm like, how is she
That
gonna?
wasn't
how
even
is
a
she gonna-
sexy dance,
How is she
though.
gonna top that?
There's a through line here. in
You
this
should watch our
conversation.
tangos. I mean,
You should watch
The
some
cha-cha
other
was-
dances.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
this is
like
the
if you go to
most-
the club, like make it real life, and you go to the club, and I'm out on the dance floor doing the cha-cha, not even the tango, just a cha-cha with some other woman.
when in real life you don't do that,
I've seen some people do it,
but
and
then
they broke
then
up,
they have
but-
cracks in their relationship.
right?
No,
So-
there's a through line through this conversation that's been about one thing that I just want to just point out is the comments, and is the comment section.
Yeah.
To me, it's a non-existent entity,
So you don't.
yeah,
you
but
don't
It
not
read
is.
to her, as in
but that's a matter of
that's
understanding.
Different.
It's not like, oh, that's how I feel about this. No, I can't respond to what I don't see. If I don't see a person,
Yep.
and it goes back to the beginnings. Like I got in trouble because I thought I was being spoken to, and I needed a reply. Like, okay, so you're done talking, great. Now it's my turn, right? The comments aren't that. This is nobody talking at me. This is someone sitting in the privacy of their domain
Yeah.
and have an opinion and get to express it.
No,
It's not a conversation, and it's definitely not something that I would hold my head on like, okay, that opinion matters. It doesn't matter to me. I don't know who you like Kawhi said.
Yeah, it's-
Kawhi Leonard, remember that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know who you are. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, he has a good laugh. It was a good
So
laugh.
yeah, no, that's why I was always like, it doesn't matter to me. Yes, the kiss that we mentioned, that was so
but
outside
that
of
doesn't happen on Dancing with the Stars.
that was so outside of
Right.
my
Your
Like
comfort zone.
I never even understood that could get to that point. You know, in dance, we don't care. You know where the hands are and all this stuff. It's just
And probably how you feel about dance is how the actors feel
Yeah.
feel about acting, right?
well,
Exactly.
do they?
'Cause that's-
Since they don't get to stay
they don't.
together. So do they really? You know.
You want to hit the TikTok segment, and then we'll hit.
Oh,
We'll
yeah,
finish.
yeah.
We'll finish with the.
We have a little TikTok segment that you guys have probably seen where we ask you, you know, a question and you have to say either if it's you or if it's her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Do you guys want the pillows to hit each other with?
No,
Got the water.
throw the water. There you go. All right. Who's the better dancer?
Really? Oh, that's so sweet.
Good job.
That's so sweet.
Good job. Good
Who was interested first?
Who was interested first in the other person?
Stop it right now. How dare you? You're lying.
Okay, rephrase the question.
Who was interested first?
Who showed interest in the other person first?
You did.
A
were
romantic interest.
I mean, we're talking physical, or we're talking like how we're
No,
talking
back
like
in the day, you're the one that was like, you know, starting to flirt and starting to stare and stuff like that.
according to some
Come
people
on.
I was staring.
Who said I love you first?
You know, putting us on the spot. Did I say I love you first?
Yeah.
It probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once I'm in, I'm in.
Who spends the most money?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I mean, existence of Amazon messed it up for sure. You know,
Oh yeah, Amazon.
it's just like she
fucked
doesn't
me up.
realize.
As
Like,
soon as he said Amazon, it's like
Button,
this
button,
right
button.
here.
Yeah.
Who cleans more?
Uh-oh. She says she does.
What
no,
do you
she
clean?
doesn't. What do I clean? Excuse
What do
me.
you
What?
clean?
Okay,
Uh-oh.
time out.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I would love to know what part do you clean?
Did you
What
hear
part
that
do you
lip
clean?
smack? And
We
that
won't
lip
go-
smack
we
said it
won't go
all.
there.
She's
We
like,
won't
oh,
go
you
there.
clean?
Oh my God, we're gonna talk about this on the drive back.
No, we are not creating a relationship drama over
No,
here.
absolutely not.
Definitely not. They're just
Just
gonna have a talk.
cleaning drama.
Just cleaning drama.
What cleaning are we talking about?
Exactly. See,
I-
you need to be more
You're trying to get out of
specific.
pocket. Here we go.
Who's more protective?
I think you.
You're not protective at all.
I
I mean,
That's
she
not the question.
deleted the social
More?
media post, so that's pretty protective.
mean,
Protective. I mean,
In everyday life, I would say you.
I'll do things detrimental to myself for protecting them. You know, but that I think is just what men should be doing. you know?
100% agreed.
Who falls asleep first?
it depends. We can't stay awake for like one White Lotus
Well, I can
right now.
I can
White
try
Lotus.
to, but yeah, no. White Lotus beginning couple episodes were just a little slow for me, so I'm still waiting.
As soon as those feet touch, you guys are out.
Here we are.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Who's more annoying?
Oh.
no. Yeah. 100%.
1,000,
That was a
1,000%.
very smart decision on the finger
Yeah.
point there. Not gonna lie.
No, but it's also just sheer honesty. I'm just
That's
being
why
honest.
she loves him.
No doubt. So we wanted to do that because for the last, 5 to 10 minutes, we just wanted to talk to you guys about, Ukraine.
Yeah.
And you were actually in Ukraine when the war started.
Yeah.
And just from back then to now, just to describe to, our viewers what the experience has been for you both as a family, because I know you were separate at first and you were here and he
Don't
was
get
in
me started.
Ukraine, and just to kind of illuminate what that experience was like and how it's changed today with all the different narratives that are out there about the war. Just open up your heart to us and really just pull on our heartstrings to let us know what you guys have been going through.
I mean, I'm having a very
Stop.
hard time. Well, I wasn't ready for that. Sorry. I'm having a hard time emotionally because I want to go back. And I wanted to go back for the last 3 years. And she and the kids are stopping me because of the impact that was on her when I got stuck there. And granted, in hindsight and in the perspective is that nothing happened to me. Everything happened to everyone I know personally in that country. I also was in the middle of filming World of Dance. I was judging. I just finished judging the season of Dancing with the Stars in Ukraine. This is a country that's incredible in arts and the field of dance specifically. So I've had an amazing time. But to see a bunch of dancers, change shoes and go straight to front line, and some of them are not coming back, and we know their names, it's devastating. But having said that, it's that fundamental struggle. Like there's certain things I want to do, and then there's certain things I also want to do with the family. And so for me, it's such an awful internal battle where I want to go and I want to be a part of that. But I also just started having my kids, and the time with them is, we talked about, you only have what, 10 summers, and few opportunities like this and few opportunities like that. And so to miss out on that, it's just so hard for me internally, and it's such a devastating kind of like last 3 years, because I am on it. I'm watching, I'm talking, I'm continuously keeping my relationships going. I support my friends. I support people that I work with that are now, for the last 3 years, they're immigrants in some other countries. It's been a horrible nightmare, and I see it like this. I know people stopped looking at it. I know it's far away, not to me, and unfortunately not to her. And every time I brought up a conversation of me going back to Kiev, I could see that she's having these sort of PTSD moments. It took me a long time to come out of my mental state. We never spoke about this. Nobody's ever asked me about that. But I was not good, and neither was she. And, the cracks in the family, and the fact that we don't have any, is the reason why we're sitting here calm and peaceful, and and we're going through it the right way. But it's an awful situation, to see moments like Zelensky at White House, whichever side you're on, is horrific, because I know the names of so many who were, waiting and hopeful for that type of moment to lead to a result, and there isn't any. And for people that don't know, the terrorist violence, which is what we call it, has upped since then. Wow. The bombings have upped since then, because obviously it's a war. It's not a conflict. And so, it didn't subside. There is no dialogue. Nothing is standing still. It's all very much very active, and Ukraine is not winning anything. So, those people not only gonna have a hard time coming back, they're gonna have a hard time coming back mentally. Half of the country is injured. Half of the youth is injured. You're talking about a whole generation of people missing limbs. There's just a reality and a fact. So, this athletes are dying, stars are dying, the great minds of the country are dying. So it's awful to see.
Also, so many misplaced people. Like we in Estonia, my mom is a school teacher. She teaches now little Ukrainian kids.
Yeah.
And she now teaches them Estonian to try to help them get some sort of education, but they only understand Ukrainian.
My manager's in Switzerland, and she and her 2 kids are now fully speaking French. She's trying to, continue the Ukrainian, and it's hard, and they want to go home. Now they don't want to go home. Now they don't know what the home is.
Yeah, exactly. They don't even know like what
There's
home
a lot,
is anymore.
yeah.
And did I get that right? Did you suffer a miscarriage while he was away?
Yeah. I had several miscarriages. That's why we have a 6-year gap between our eldest and our 2-year-old. Yeah, it was one of the hardest times of my life to date. And I say that like because we're the lucky ones, right? He's fine. He came home, everything's good. Many people didn't. So I have to continuously be grateful for that. But I will never forget the time where he called me and FaceTimed me and said, they're coming. And I'm like, who's coming? And Russia is invaded. It's happening. I got to get out of here. The sheer panic. And the next 9 to 10 days after that were the most horrendous, traumatic that I have ever been through. there were nights where he would call me and say, I have to turn off all the lights. I have to turn off my phone. I'm going to cry.
Yeah, no, I'm getting emotional too.
And I don't
it's
know
a
what's
tough,
going to
it's a
happen
tough.
to me. So I need you to go to sleep and just, take care of the kids. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? What's happening?
Yeah.
And he's like in a bomb shelter, and it was so bad. I didn't know if he was going to be alive the next day. And I would just pray and hope. And he'd say, don't call me because my phone's going to light up and they can see. Don't call me. And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
I wasn't meant to be.
it's
It's a
terrible.
long story. At some point, I'll tell it. But I was not allowed to be where I ended up being. The safe place that I was in, I was not meant to be there. Somebody lied for me, and they lied that I was part of a crew that I was not a part of, and it was a borderline federal offense on both sides. And so I just got so lucky with the people that were around me that I was able to kind of like, sort of like hide in plain sight. But it was a nightmare. It was such a, I spent that week and a half with a backpack, and I would there was a moment where I could get like a little breakfast, and I would like make myself sandwiches, put them in a bag, and I would have like a sandwich and a bottle of water. And I would, one time, I believe during the first 3 days, I was just not washing anything. And then I was like, I gotta wash my underwear or something. And I remember I washed my underwear and socks, and then the siren goes and we have to all grab our shit and run out. And so I was like, damn, I'm never washing this shit again. It's wet. And so like, it was awful. And the way I, had to get on the train and go to Poland, and it's literally me and all women and children. And the feeling is awful. It was awful. The fact that I'm not from that country, I have a home far, far away. My blue passport saved me. It was
But
just,
that
it
was-
was horrible.
that was
just
the
a
thing that
terrible-
was so that I was so angry about, was that the government was saying Americans leave now. They're saying it for like a week or
I
something.
was the last person we spent.
And his production was saying, no, it's okay, nothing's going to happen, they're not going to come in.
No,
Like,
they
we're
were
fine,
saying
we're fine.
that no matter what, you will be the first on the plane out. And we'll remember what happened. They just bombed airports because it was not like we're coming
Nobody
in to
could
mess
leave.
shit up. No, we're coming in to take it over.
Right.
And so that was immediately like, I remember my last call to it wasn't to my manager, because I was like, she was just a simple lady with a simple family and she needed to take care of them. But there were people that were higher ups and all of that, and they were shocked and didn't know what to do. And so the last call, they were like, hold on, we're figuring this out. And I'm like, Mary or whatever her name was at that time, like, please don't call me. Take care of your family, because I realized like, I'm not your child. You have kids, And so the whole thing was awful and devastating. And, I just got to give props to some people that are still there. There's a gentleman, his name is Mike Capone, and it has to be mentioned, with Global Empowerment Missions. And that organization that came in, and they're now set up shop for the last 3 years. They've helped millions of people. I immediately started supporting that initiative. And there were very few of those types. So, I saw the good in humanity. I saw the absolute worst in humanity, and everything in between. So the last 3 years, I personally cannot wait to be back. I cannot wait to contribute, whether they ask me to or not, to in any way, shape, or form, as long as the war stops. And, there's going to be a lot of rebuilding.
Do you think it's the best way to ask this, because I can sense the emotion?
Sorry, I did. I also
from both
just
of
didn't
you.
expect it, but
No, it's the show is called Outta Pocket, but
Yeah.
we do want to have real conversations, and I feel like, although this was one of our most out of pocket conversations that we've had, it's also one of the realest that we've had. And when it comes to this, hearing your account of being there and your account of like having to live through not knowing if he's going to be able to make it back to his family, I think is moving for the people who are listening. But I also think it's important to ask the question of, do you think, or what do you think it is that Americans, not all of us, right, but the ones who are politicizing it, what do you think it is that they misunderstand about what is happening in Ukraine?
It's for you.
Number one, I have to say that without America, a lot of good wouldn't happen in the world. I mean, that must be said.
Yeah.
I think that it's both the worst of it, and probably at the same time, the best part is the fact that it's far away. It's sort of like self kind of sufficient. Yes, it's a world superpower, but again, the fact that we're here and we don't feel it, it allows us to have dialogue, to have conversations, to, to help, to raise funds, to, case in point, when as soon as I got back, our father set up a organization that started to deliver things into Ukraine, and we were a small fish amongst big entities that were doing it. But it was incredible to see a regular American in New Jersey walk into our warehouse and donate time, donate socks, donate things off their back. I mean, that is the United States person. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I think is the representative of this country. Everybody, everywhere everybody has an ignorant side, and I don't blame those people. There's somebody in United States that just doesn't want to live outside politics. As a matter of fact, at some point we too were like, why our policies here reflect things that happen across the planet? Because I'm here first and foremost today by my kids.
Right.
And my kids live here. They don't live somewhere else. And so I want here to be a certain way. So, I understand those too. I happen to be connected to that place. If Estonia was in that realm, God forbid, you would have been in my position,
Yeah.
and it's
and when
not.
all of this happened, the first thing we told my parents was get on a plane because there's a high chance you
Because
guys are
you're next.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's a high chance that you're next.
Yeah.
Europe, you're next. Finland, you're next. Poland, you're next. Everybody, because if this is just gonna be a frozen conflict, you don't know what that dude is gonna do.
Yeah.
Listen, it is what it is. I got a bunch of calls. I got a bunch of. I was driving with her. I remember we were going to Malibu just to like take a breath of fresh air, and I got a call. Somebody was telling me that I'm blacklisted. I'm on Putin's blacklist. I'm like trying to get the call off the speakerphone because she's sitting next to me, like eyes like this.
What the fuck
It's
is
like,
he
just
saying?
be careful what you say because you're on some kind of fucking list. I
Hit
mean,
list or something.
this shit is nuts. And to be a part of this, dude, I'm just a dancer, and to realize that you're part of a community, you're part of a bigger thing. Today, I wear it with pride. I'm proud to have been a part of this, and I can't wait to recontribute to that area, but I am so lucky. I'm so, blessed to have this time, and no matter what the comment section thinks of me, that's why it's irrelevant to me, because I know that my focus is on the right thing. I have my young kids, I have my young wife, I have my young family. I just want to do that. I just want to be a great dad, great husband, and that's all my focus is. Everything else is, look, lead by example, be a great person. I can't wait for my kids to be of age where I can sit down and talk to them about this. But by then, I also want to show them what I've done, about this or in regard to any of that stuff. So we'll see what happens.
And I think the rest of the world, like you said, like you view American people as the people that want to help, that want to, the good people.
Yeah, because like you and I also know the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I come from. I was born in a 1980 in a communist regime. We immigrated because my father in 1986 was given an opportunity to go to East Germany and experience what that was like. When he came back, he was a 26-year-old young man with 2 kids. Looked at my mom and said, we're being lied to, we got to go. You know, and this is someone who loved USSR, someone who was in that space and was all about it. But when he realized what this is not, he's like, there's no future here for our kids. We have 2 boys, both would have been at front line, whether it's in Afghanistan in the 80s or some other conflict in the 90s, Nagorno-Karabakh or whatever that was, or something else, or Ukraine today. I mean, it's absurd. That region is in constant warfare. So, you know, to be able to be here, if you complained about this country, you have never been outside. And so for everybody who shit on America at its worst time, I'm here to say I'm its #1 fan. This is the best place on earth, no matter what you think of it. And if you don't think it, go travel, go see other places.
Facts.
And I do like how, honestly, the good side of the world, how they have stood up for Ukraine. And honestly, I think the whole world is so proud of Ukraine, because look at the size difference between Russia and Ukraine, and how resilient Zelensky has been, and like how he handled the White House meeting, right? Like,
I don't need a ride, I need ammunition. I'm getting emotional again. But this is not someone who's an actor who says that. This is someone who believes in what they say. This was off the cuff, you know. And so to call that person out today and have some kind of conspiracy theories, I don't know anything, you know. But I saw what I saw, and I cannot wait for the young men to come back from the front line to continue representing their professions with this newfound perspective, because they will have a lot to say about what it's really like to be a man, to be a woman, to be proud of your country, to be proud to defend it, to be proud of the sort of democracy that you want to live in. I mean, that place is where all of that knowledge and information is going to start coming out of as soon as it ends.
Well, I think that's the perfect way to end it.
The perfect way to end it,
we've had
Robert, is for you to join Dancing with the Stars season 34.
He
Oh my
pulls
God.
on my heartstrings and he gets me to try to get me to go Dance with the Stars.
No, I'm not going to try anything. I'm just going to let people handle that do these things better than me.
We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
we appreciate
you,
you coming on the show, having the conversations, really wide ranging, and finishing with that, because I think it's important from your experience and your experience as a family for people to hear that. Because listen, we're not here to pick a side or to do anything. We're just here to have great conversations about things that matter to people.
Yeah.
And what's going on in Ukraine matters to you, matters to us, and it matters to everyone around the world.
Yeah.
And I think you took this opportunity to shine a light on the greatness of America, as opposed to taking the opportunity to take a shot. And I think that's important. People need to understand that. And I think your point of, if you think it's bad,
I will never take a shot at this
go
place.
travel somewhere else and you'll
I'm
see.
critical. I have an opinion. I have a perspective, but I also have a perspective, you know? So my opinion is always, before I express it, I'm always putting up against, okay, but what is really like, you know? So that's all I gotta say.
So thank you guys for
Thank
coming
you
on.
guys
and,
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
everyone that's listening or watching at home, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you tell your friends. This is a special conversation with special people. So we'll see you guys next time, and peace.